So, as you could tell by the footage, I didn't get much because it's kind of hard to video a movie theater without getting like the movie itself and share that experience with you guys. And obviously, I couldn't share the actual movie and us watching it because that just didn't make sense, anyways. I wish that I had gone like to the concession stand, but I didn't want to get anything at the time because I had already ate dinner. So um, you don't get to see that. But you did get to see the restrooms, so the whole place, they've done a great job with it. Really enjoyed it. And my friends and I, we watched the movie on screen one, and then we left before the second movie started because it was an older movie we had already seen, and we all needed to get home, get to bed. So, all in all, great experience. Can't wait to go again. Haven't been since that one time, but that's because it was towards the end of the season, and that is why I'm just now sharing the footage with you. So yes, that footage is like half a year old, and that's because it was towards the end of the season, and then I decided I should wait and share it all with you when you can actually go again. So here we are, new season. A few things I want to know: it is cash only. I say that in my blog post, and just want to make sure I reiterate that because a lot of people might miss that, and you will be very disappointed if you show up with your credit card because they will not take it. They'll direct you down the street to an ATM. The reason why they don't take credit cards is in my blog post, so you'll have to read that. It's linked below if you're curious. Another note is check the time on the website, which will be linked below for you. Well, it'll be linked to my blog post, which is linked below. It'll be at the end of the post. And that will tell you what movies are playing and what time the gates open and what time the movie starts. Now, the gates open anywhere from like an hour to 2 hours before the movie, and that's to allow time for everyone to come and hang out and just get outside, play games, have fun. Like, they encourage you to bring like football to throw around or like a frisbee. They even sell frisbees at the concession stand. That was part of the point of why the owner, Don Marshall, created it in the first place, and that was to provide a safe place for his kids to enjoy, time together as a family, and also like have a fun activity to do, and then afterwards be able to watch two movies. It gives you quite a few hours of fun for the kids and family instead of just like going to the movie theater, where the movie theater only takes like a couple hours at most. Also note that the start time on the website is just an estimate. It won't be the exact start time of the movie necessarily. More details as to why that is in my blog post. You'll have to check that out. Something else to add is don't bring your own food and drinks. This goes for like any movie theater, but especially this one because they make the bulk of their money from that. So in order to keep the place running, they need to make the money on the concession stand. And everything is actually reasonably priced, unlike a regular movie theater. You like normally go to a movie theater and it's like $12 for a bucket of popcorn. Here it is much better. Like, it's not ridiculously priced like that. So definitely, you can even look at the menu online if you want to. So again, the link is in my blog post that is linked below. So if you're curious as to what the menu is, roughly, it changes all the time though, depending on just like what they have then, and they cycle things in and out. So every time you go, it might be a different menu depending on how often you go. Some people ask why they only show movies Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night, and that is because all the employees have full-time jobs for the most part. So they have other things they do during the week. And during weeknights, there wouldn't be enough interest, that it wouldn't bring in enough money to even justify opening on the weekdays, because they have to pay for the movies like a certain rate, a minimum rate. Even if they don't sell tickets for that minimum, that add up to that minimum rate, they still have to pay that fee. So on weekdays, they probably wouldn't even make the minimum. So it's just not even worth it. Plus the fact that it allows everybody to have their own full-time jobs and everything and do this as just like a little extra, or just as a hobby. Some of them are doing it just like as a hobby. I mean, they're getting paid, but they're doing it for fun, not so much for profit. And overall, that's really what Don started it as anyways. He started this whole business as something for his kids to do and a way to give back to the community. It just is so much cheaper than going to the movie theater if you have a bunch of kids. It's so much easier and cheaper to do this. And it's just a great way for him to be able to offer that. That's how this whole thing started. The movies have been the same price for the last 10 years. So don't foresee that changing anytime soon, hopefully. And he would like to keep it affordable for everybody. Yeah, the whole point was not to make profit off this. The whole point was just to create a great place for everybody to spend quality time together outside. So, funny story to share with y'all that Clara shared with me. Clara works with Dawn. And that is that when they first opened, there was a little church down the street that faced screen 1. And they made an agreement with the church to never put an R-rated movie on that screen because they wanted to keep it like family-friendly movies because it faces the church. So that was their plan, and everything was fine. But one day, Dawn had the great idea to show an R-rated movie on that screen. And he thought about it. He didn't do it, but he was thinking about it. And he was going to do it like the next night. And then that night, the projector broke. And it cost $600 for them to fix it. So after that, he's never thought about doing it again because God was really basically saying like, no, you made a promise and I'm holding you to it, whether you like it or not. So I just thought that was a pretty funny story. So ever since then, and just as originally planned, that has been the family-friendly movie screen, or the family screen. And all the R-rated movies are shown on screen 2, which is on the other side. So I just found that very interesting story. I am so glad that I was able to talk with both the owner and Clara, who's like basically his assistant. She's worked with him forever. So I'm so thankful that I was able to talk with them and get a little more behind the scenes on how this whole thing works, which is very interesting. So you definitely want to check that out. And then just more about like the history and the why behind this business. So check all that out in my blog post link below. Comment down below if you've ever been to this drive-in theater, or any for that matter, and what your thoughts are on drive-ins. I think they're so unique and so fun, and honestly I prefer it than to going to a regular movie theater, just because there's something about like being outside, and that's part of the point of the whole thing anyways. Another interesting story that Don shared with me, he's got all sorts of stories, that sometimes it rains and they will not give you a refund for rain because they still have to pay the fees anyways, you know, and you can stay during if it's raining, but they will shut down if there's like thunder and lightning because then it's, you know, a safety threat. So but anyways, there was one night that it was started to rain and people were there, you know, and as one family was leaving, the guy saw Dawn and was like, oh hey, great movie and all that, and Dawn's like, yeah, I'm really sorry that it rained and all, like that kind of ruined the whole thing, didn't it? And the guy was like, no, don't be sorry, that actually made the experience. He said that he and his family were able to like hang out underneath their tailgate, like they had like a hatchback like minivan or whatever, and they were able to hang out under there, and hearing the rainfall on the top of the tailgate was like reminded him of sitting on his grandmother's porch under a tin roof, and that just made the whole thing like so much more memorable with him and his kids, that now they'll be able to remember that, kind of like how he remembers sitting with his grandmother on the porch when it's raining. So it was neat to tie in like 2 generations with like a same sort of thing, a weather event. It's funny how like different like atmospheres and circumstances join together, and that's what creates our memories. And so it's things like that, the unexpected or the like bad things that happen, usually make the most memorable experiences that you remember for years to come. Just something to think about, that like even if it is going to rain, it might actually be one of the better experiences you have going to the drive-in. You never know. That is pretty much it. So, as I've said before, check out the blog post link below. I think I've said that way too many times in this video, I'm sorry. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see y'all next week for another exploring chat.